November 22nd, 2001. This is the first day that I can cross the border to the USA to get gas since March 2020. Technically, the US border has been open for a few weeks, but a $200 COVID test was required to re-enter Canada. Today, in areas of BC affected by flooding and gasoline shortages, the border was opened for emergency travel in affected areas for fuel. So I happen to live in one of the areas of the lower mainland, so it's permitted for me to cross the border into the States to get gas. And I figured I'm going to go down to Point Roberts, and this is literally now a ghost town because they have been cut off. They are completely, for people that don't know the area, Point Roberts is a little small peninsula off of Canada that is surrounded by water on three sides and Canada to the north. So the people in Point Roberts have been really hurting bad since the whole pandemic started, because this border that I'm crossing now has literally been closed to all but essential travel, and that would be like for medical appointments and stuff, but nobody else has been able to get across. It's now open. It opened going south a few weeks back, but going north, it's not going to open to non-essential travel until I think it's November 30th is when it's opening. But because of cat just shredded my leg there. Because of the current situation that we are facing with the pipeline being closed down due to the flooding and the roads being washed out, there's been some shortages of fuel in the lower mainland, and they've put on limits as to how much fuel you can buy, which of course has sparked people stocking up and hoarding gasoline, and gas stations are running out. So they've opened up the border for us to travel across to the States where we can get an unlimited supply of cheap gas. And by cheap gas, well, you'll see in a minute here what it is. Now, remember, it's in U.S. funds, but they do price their fuel in liters. I think it was $1.05 a liter U.S., which works out to about, $1.30 or so Canadian, compared to what we're paying here is about $1.65 or 67, something ridiculous. And some stations, because of the fuel shortage, have been actually jacking the price up and ripping people off even more. It's a bit of a delay here because the guy in front of me, I guess, has got a bunch of questions to ask, and I'm the only car waiting, and I'm letting this play in real time just so that anybody that's thinking that they're going to go down to do this, they may face a bit of a wait. Now, when I got down there, I have a Nexus card, so even though the Nexus lane is not open, as you can see, I had to sit in the regular lane. When I did get through, after this fella here presented all of his documentation, I basically just drove through. This is how simple it was. I was not asked any questions of whether I was vaccinated or anything. I rolled up to the window. The border guard greeted me by my name and asked me where I was going, and I said, I'm going down to get gas. And this is exactly how long it took me to clear customs into the United States. There. That was simple. Let's take a drive. I'm going to shut up now, play a bit of music. I'm going to take a drive down to the gas station, and we're going to just take a look at Point Roberts, Washington. This is let's say this little town. This is one of my favorite places to take my bike, my Harley, out in the summer, because the roads are always quiet, and you don't have to worry about being run over by somebody who's blinded by a windshield or has their cell phone in their hand and they're texting and driving, because there's not a lot of traffic down here. So this is one of my favorite little places to ride, and I put a lot of miles when I was able to cross the border. In the summer, I'll be going down here a lot, just to drive around, because it's a nice, quiet place to ride. But I've seen a lot of changes since the last time I was there. I see a lot of boarded up businesses, which is very unfortunate, and hopefully some of them will be able to reopen again. Gas stations were open, but as I say, a lot of changes. The marina was completely empty. I just went to the gas station and did the circle drive around where the marina was, and then came back. I didn't really spend much time because it's open for essential, like emergency services, like picking up a package, which you can do. I got an email last night that all the package receiving points down in the States here in Point Roberts, they're open again. So you can go down and get gas and grab your mail or grab any packages you've had sent in. I got the email, that part is open. But here we go. First gas station here. Look at the price here. $1.30 Canadian a liter, $1.04 US a liter. Right? That's cheap. We'll go to the next one. I don't normally go to that station because one time I got ripped off when their pumps were malfunctioning. I wasn't paying attention, and I somehow managed to put 60 liters of fuel into a vehicle that only has a 50-liter tank. Yeah, okay, so I don't go to that station. But this one here, a little bit more money at this one, the Shell station, or Hell as we like to call it. Nobody's there for that reason because their price is a little bit higher. But they're open. And it looks like the Chevron station here is also open, as is the other station beside them is open. And the one I normally go to is the one just around the corner here. And they have pretty good price on fuel. So just go around the corner here to say it's dead. It's like a ghost town. There's nobody here. There's no cars. And I'm sure this is going to change in the next week or so when the border's fully reopened again for everybody. But $4.9 US per liter, so about $1.30-ish or so, somewhere in there by the time it's converted to Canadian. Anyway, let me get my gas and we'll continue the tour. So I just filled my tank and I was on fumes. I haven't filled my tank up since last year. I had over 7,000 kilometers since the last time I filled up my tank, but I was down on fumes. It took $30.25 US to fill my tank on my Volt, which will, on this car, will keep me going at least until next summer when I start to travel a bit. I'll use it up then. But that's pretty cheap. I only put in like 30 liters because that's the size of the tank. The tank is 30 liters, so and I say I was pretty much on fumes. I had about I think I had enough for like 50 miles or so, so maybe a gallon or gallon and a half of fuel was all that remained in the tank. Anyway, there's the fire department, and we're just going to continue this little drive down here towards the Reef Tavern, which is closed, and it looks like he's from the looks of things, it looks like he's trying to sell the place. He's got a for sale sign, which is unfortunate, but that's what happens when all of your business goes away, because 80% of the business here is from Canadians. Lost a few frames there. My SD card, I guess, is failing. It just glitched out, and when that happens, the camera just starts another file. So we lost a few seconds of footage there. It's a SanDisk card, 128 gigs, and yeah, that's one of the troublesome cards. I have seemed to have received a number of SD cards in the recent times that certainly are not performing like you would expect. Losing data, losing files, and yet I get the argument from some people that memory cards are more reliable than other medium like DVDs and CDs. I got CDs that are 25 years old and still play, and DVDs that are 20 years old, like recordable DVDs, that still play perfect, and yet I've got SD cards that 15 minutes after I record the data on them, it's not available. Wonderful, wonderful new technology that we've got there. Anyway, continuing my little drive here, as you can see, there's nobody. Like, you see the odd person out walking, but nobody's here. Everybody is left, except for the residents in the witness protection program. Oops, did I say that? Yes. One of the worst kept secrets, I tell you. I met a guy that actually told me that he was in the program and a resident of Point Roberts. To say pretty quiet. Next month, I'm sure this is going to change, because once everybody can cross the border, we'll see business return to a somewhat more normal level down here. But just interesting to see how quiet it is right now compared to what it was the last time I was down here about 18 months ago, I guess, something like that. One thing that you will need, if you're watching this from the Lower Mainland and you're going to go down and get gas, be sure you have the ArriveCan app on your phone and have it filled out, because if you don't, they will make you fill that form out and make you park and fill it out, which they did for me. I had the app on my phone, but this being the first time I crossed the border, I didn't know that I had to actually fill all that information out before I got there. And because I don't have data services in the States, I'm not going to put data on my phone to fill the thing out. So I got to the border and they actually made me park and fill the information out, like when I was arriving and how I was arriving and stuff. And it was painless. The guy just said, "Wave to me when you've got it done," and I got the barcode on it from the ArriveCan app and showed him it, and he punched in the number and said, "Okay, you're on your way." But just so if you're going to do this, to go down and get gas, be sure you have your ArriveCan information set up. Otherwise, you'll be parked to set it up. And there was another glitch on this memory card. I think I'm going to have to replace this one. It must be wearing out at this point. It's a SanDisk 128 gig. And I've been using this one for a while, the last year or so, in my 4K dash camera. That's what this is. I stopped using this card in my regular camera. I used to use this card to do my YouTube videos, and I was finding that I was losing files on it. So I stopped using this card. It doesn't have a lot of use. Well, it didn't have a lot of use when I put it in the dash cam, but I was losing files. I was dropping stuff when I was shooting my videos, even when it was relatively new. Now, it might be a speed issue. It is a class 10 Ultra Speed 3, but when I did a speed test on this, it fell well short of what I expected it to. And now I use Samsung memory cards to shoot my videos on, and I've never had any issue with them. But the SanDisk one is not what it is all cracked up to be. In fact, all the SanDisk cards I bought recently have been a little bit slow, let's just say. And I've stopped using them, and I've started using Lexar and Samsung SD cards, as I found that they have been a lot more reliable as far as high bandwidth recording. Anyway, this is the main drag back, and say that's the gas station that had some malfunctioning pumps. It was probably, I don't know, I did a video on it years ago. It was probably 5 years ago. There's another glitch. Anyway, I'd say that station, one time I went there and filled up my old truck, which had a 50-liter tank, and I was talking to somebody else because the pumps were going very, very slow. It was at night. The pumps were going very slow, and I was talking to another guy about how slow the pumps were, and I just happened to look up at the pump, and it had pumped in like a lot more. My tank was only a 50-liter tank on my Escape, and I'd pumped in like almost 60 liters of fuel, and it was still going, and I stopped it. And I went in and talked to the operator, and I said, "Hey, you got a problem with your pumps here." So this thing just pumped 58 liters of fuel into my tank, and it's only a 50-liter tank. And the operator of the gas station said, "Nope, the pumps are correct. You put 58 liters of fuel in." And I had a little argument with them about it. I said, "How is it possible to put 58 liters of fuel into a 50-liter tank?" But it fell on deaf ears. They made me pay for the fuel that I didn't get, and I never went back there. There I am rolling up to the crossing. I probably could have gone through the regular one, but I went to the Nexus crossing. And the border agent asked me if I had uploaded my ArriveCan app, and I said no. I said I thought that was just for like people, crossing, flying and stuff. I had the app on my phone, but I hadn't filled it out. And she says, "Okay, you're going to have to fill it out and park me so that I could put the data in." And then the guy came out and said, "Go ahead." So pretty painless for crossing the border to get gas, and I look forward to the border fully reopening on the 30th so that we can travel back and forth again and buy cheap gas and buy cheap milk and cheap cheese and everything else that we can get cheaper in the States. Anyway, I've rambled on enough. I figured I would show you this little look at the ghost town that we haven't seen for the last 18 months. Thanks for watching.